enlightenment or awakening. I don't know if you still consider that you're on a path. I know all my life I considered I was on a path up until somewhat recently, when all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, the path went away. There is no path anymore, because a path is linear and it means step by step by step. It also puts you separate from where you're going. You want to attain something, and you've put that something outside of yourself. Well, I discovered everything is inside. And so it just wiped out even the whole concept of path. Well, when you get there, whatever and wherever there is, don't look to me for a lot of understanding here. That will come later. This is not the time for that. Right now, this is what you see is what you get. All right. That also eliminates all concept of practice, of method, of doing a this to get a that, of there being something external to attain. There's not. You lose the concept of time. As soon as you collapse time down and say all there is now, and there's never been anybody that wasn't now, and there never will be anybody that isn't now. There's no such thing as a future or a past. All there is now. Nobody's ever been anywhere but now. I don't care if it's 2010 or 210. It doesn't matter. It's now. That's all there is. Well, in the midst of all that, and I'm sorry if it sounds like hocus pocus to you, it's really, really not. Puppy! Bad dog! Keeps trying to play with her. I'm sorry. In the midst of all of that, which is very real experience, what you see here is me fishing around trying to put experience into words. This is not linear. It's not thought-based or thought-driven. And so it's tricky to express because words are linear. They go in nice, neat little order, in rows, and they have to be in the right order in those rows. I mean, come on. Crazy way to communicate. But anyway, I no longer believe in any kind of a method unless your heart calls you to it. See, your heart will call you to whatever's right for you. And there will be times in your life, maybe in everyone's life, where a method will be appropriate. Maybe long times, but it all went up in a puff of smoke for me, all of that. It's an amazement. And see, when I'm sun gazing, it's not a method, because I'm not trying to produce anything or attain anything or get anywhere. I'm just sun gazing. It's just joy. I love it. My crystals, whenever you see me, chances are very good I have one or more crystals in hand. This is a pretty one. It's got one point that's a nice one, and at the other end, I guess maybe the light's too bright here. It's kind of multi-pointed. And so it's double terminated in its own way. And I've got, I just got that I swim in crystals. Okay, so if you sense crystal energy around me, you're tuned in. But it's not a method. I'm not trying to accomplish anything with them, do anything to them, for them, with them. I just love them. Okay, it's just a matter of sharing love with everything. I find that I'm some kind of an outpost where love is shared for anything and everything, and it just flows through, and it's very fulfilling. It's very peaceful. It's very beautiful. It gets me up. It moves me where I need to be. I come in the room just when the centipede appears. I mean, the serendipities are beautiful, and it's a way of life. It's a constant meditation. And so I guess what I want to do is speak up and just say, I don't believe in methods or practices unless it's something heart calls you to. I have a very few prayers. I have 3 prayers that I use. Uh, and I do. But is that a method? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, folks. I don't know. Everybody, come on, get your webcam out and let's powwow and let's share and let's subscribe to one another and develop a community where we quit going to government and we quit going to books and things. I think we've got to get together as a community, because from what this heart sees, nobody has a monopoly on truth. There's not one single teacher or guru or person that, from what I've seen, and I've studied some very deeply, I used to believe in a number of them. And in my way, I thought, oh, that person's got it. That's the pinnacle of whatever that is. But I always come to learn, no, not quite right. It's a little off over here or over there. And after a while, what I saw was, when I would see this offness, that was a gift. Because what it did is it made me realize I was putting my trust outside of myself. And I was looking to that person, to that teacher. I followed Eckhart Tolle for a long time. Well, not a long time, a year or so. That's a long time these days. And I just, I would believe everything the man said. And I'm not saying, well, see, I've lost belief in things now. Because what happened is whoever it was, whoever I was looking at, whatever voice of authority, Greg Braden, Nassim Haramein, uh, even a Muji or a Gangaji. I'm listening to Papaji now with great joy. He is the teacher of both Muji and Gangaji. And I just bliss out on the guy. I really do, very often. But it's more of a sensate thing. There's really no mind to it. So what would happen is I would see with each one that I was studying under, and I was just totally into what they had to say, and it was wonderful, and I made heart connection with it. Over time, I was given to see how I was placing my trust outside of myself. And at first that hurt, because you realize, oh my God, I can't believe in anyone or anything. There's nothing. There's literally nowhere and nothing where I feel like somebody is spot on, where they've got a pipeline to truth, and everything that they see and say is in direct contact with that. I don't find it. And that hurts at first. But then what's happening is we're getting a realization of how much we've placed faith in things and beings outside of ourselves. And you're developing your own pipeline to truth. And that's what's showing you, and that's what's telling you, ooh, a little off here, a little off there. And you know it. You just know. And I'm not saying I've got a pipeline to anything either. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Nobody is. But where it has taken me is in the understanding of the need for community. We need one another, quite literally. We're all such unbelievably beautiful beings. And it's in each other that we have our Valhalla, our heaven on earth, our awakening, our enlightenment, our everything is found in our union, in the oneness of all that is. And it's not just people. I mean, it's with everything. But people are pretty darn wonderful. And as we share with one another, things resonate. It's like we have these resonance bells inside You know, I'm seeing just a beautiful palace of bells inside of me. And they ring in different places and in different ways when I hear different things. And I know this happens for you too. Some of what I say is just meaningless. You know, when I first read I Am That, I could probably absorb, by Nisargadatta, I could probably absorb and relate to maybe 50% of it. But it lit up my heart so strongly. It was so right on. I made such a very real connection with it that I just tabled what I didn't understand, what didn't make sense to me, and it was a good bit. I just set it aside. I read it and I thought, that's interesting. And I went on and I took what worked for me and I left what didn't, what I didn't understand. That turned out to be a very useful way to go. Because now I've read it probably at least 5 times. But now when I go to it, so much of what didn't click, what didn't connect, I've had the actual experience now so that when I read it again, it's a whole different story. So I think we all have these inner resonance bells, and we need to be listening to one another so that we can hear. When you hear something that clicks with you, push pause, go write it down, go take a little note, go journal it, you know, start paying attention. When your resonance bells ring, that's a big deal. You know, that's probably a bigger deal than most anything else in your life at that point. That's in your now, and you've got a resonance there. And if you'll push pause, and the mind wants to play the whole thing, it wants to do the little linear dance, okay? You don't need that. You're above and beyond that. You're amazing. You're freaking amazing. But we've got to step out of this linear way we've been trained into in order to really begin to develop that. We're a garden and it wants to bloom. But there's certain things we're doing that aren't in the best interests of what we've got planted there. And so by going into heart, you've got a direct line to the master gardener, and you're going to be given all the guidance that you need. It's within you that the resonance bells ring, and you might not understand. It might light you up, and you might not know why or what. You might not understand at all. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter in the least. Write down whatever you can. Save it. Preserve it. You don't know where it's coming from now, but later you will. It's your crumb trail, you know, and you can follow it straight into your heart, straight into enlightenment. Everybody can have enlightenment right now. You can awaken right now. There's nothing between you and waking up. There really already is an awakened being inside of you. The contact point, in my way of understanding, is the heart. It's not that it's necessarily in the heart. That might be a portal. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So much that we get off into is extraneous crap. Okay? It's just distraction. It's just mind. And so follow the crumb trail into your heart. And I'll meet you there. Darned if I won't. I sure love you guys. See you soon.